Param Shanti to all the divine souls. Our salutations to Bapuji and Brahmama. Welcome back for the day 2 of the Behad Gyan course. Today we have an intriguing topic that has fascinated humanity for centuries. Karma, its type, and its connection to reincarnation, and also another topic that bridges the gap between science and spirituality, that is, the fascinating connection between quantum entanglement and spirituality, more so with Behad Gyan. So buckle up as we embark on a journey to unravel the mysteries of the quantum world and its potential implications for our understanding of consciousness and interconnectedness. Now, let us understand, why is there a need to contemplate on this topic? We learned in the previous episode that soul and this body is not the same. We need to understand that body is just an instrument for the soul and this body keeps changing. So after death, we are bound to go somewhere, and to which realm we go to depends on our karma. So let's understand the universal law of cause and effect, that is the law of karma. The term karma originates from the ancient Sanskrit language and translates to action or deed. It is the idea that every action we take, whether physical, mental or emotional, has consequences. We need to understand that when a soul comes on earth, how does it get entangled in karma? The three types of karma are Satkarma, Vikarma and Akarma, also called Nishkam Karma. Satkarma or Punya Karma are the positive actions that lead to positive outcomes. Vikarma or Pap Karma are the negative actions that result in negative consequences. It does not matter if the chain is made of gold, that is Satkarma, or the chain is made of iron, Vikarma. Good and bad karmas both will bind you, will put you into bondage. Nishkam Karma, whereas Nishkam or Akarma means doing an act without any expectation in remembrance of Almighty authority. By doing so, an act, one rises above good and bad karmas, resulting in the path of liberation from the cycle of birth and death. That has been beautifully explained by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita in chapter 2, verse 47. On what basis we have got the current life? Unless a soul does not understand the law of karma, then he or she will not be able to rise above sadness or difficulties in life. This concept must be taught to everybody. We recommend to read a book called Secret of Karma by Vijay Attri. By learning this concept, one can handle the upcoming circumstances and sadness in life boldly with maturity and accept it as it is. It is always better to pay the debts happily. The four categories of karma are Sanchit, Prarabdha, Kriyaman and Agami karma. The ancient sages used the symbol of archery to explain them. Sanchit karma is the stock of arrows in archer's case. It is the accumulated reserve of all your karmas from your past lives which is yet to ripen. Prarabdha karma. It is the arrows that have already left the bow. It is that part of Sanchit karma which we carry in this lifetime, which is the fructified karma. Kriyaman karma, the fresh karma that we produce in this lifetime. And finally, Agami karma, the arrow that we are having in our hand, which is the future karma, the karma that is yet to mature for the actions of your current life. If we do not get this knowledge, then it's possible that we come continuously in the cycle of birth and death and also end up in the 84 lakh species. New revolution as per Behad Gyan given by Bapuji. When Atma leaves the body, he takes up with him the karmic records and sanskars which are stored in the Karan Sharir and Sukshma Sharir. Based on your Sanchit karma, you will receive the Prarabdha karma. God has given the free will, so we need to use it in the right direction towards the right path. The current karma, if not neutralized, gets added to Sanchit karma and cycle continues. So to get the power to do the right and to direct the free will, we will need wisdom as to what is right and wrong. This power can come only if we connect with Almighty. The relationship between karma and reincarnation is inseparable. The actions we perform in one lifetime affect the circumstances and experiences of the next. Positive actions lead to a better life in the future, while negative actions lead to suffering or challenging conditions in the next life. This cycle continues until the soul learns its lessons, resolves its karmic debts, and attains the spiritual growth and liberation. In this Brahmand, everything is interconnected. Karmic patterns are so related that what karma we do through mind actions, they generate energy, which creates vibrations at subatomic level and that affects the atmosphere of the Brahmand or the creation. Karma is performed not only through actions but also what we think. Thoughts generated in the mind also have a great impact. If the soul has come from infinite creation, that is the Behad soul, then his thoughts or vibrations can reach till where it has come from. Therefore, higher souls have to be very careful in what they think as it affects the creation. We shall understand how our vibrations at subatomic level affects the cosmos when we understand the concept of quantum entanglement. Bapuji advises that one should be thoughtless and only create a thought if needed. For example, if you're constantly thinking about negative, about someone whom you don't like, then you are in karma bandhan, that is, connected karmically with that person. Coming on to karmic relations, currently whatever kind of relations we have is due to our karma. Karmic relations can be with our souls in the subtle world. We often hear about Pitra Dosh. Bapuji says most of the time, when a soul leaves the body, it takes birth in a family with other souls of similar sanskars and with whom it had karmic relation. Here comes the concept of Antmati Sogati. Mati means buddhi. So what was there in the intellect at the time of death, that will decide his fate. This concept is nicely explained in our Upanishad, the story of King Jadabharata. Please to check out these videos of Bapuji like Mysteries of Karma, which is greater, destiny or karma, how to burn karma, karma yogi life, can we change our prarabdha karma? Jivatmas, they are trapped in this materialistic world and can't ascend up as their air element is too heavy, and because of their vices, they keep roaming above the earth around the 200-kilometer range and wait to get another body to fulfill unfinished desires. Some souls have such heavy subtle body that they cannot even go above 2 kilometers. Our karmas are due to our fixed karmic pattern. If one wants to break the karmic pattern, then for this, knowledge is very important. But many go behind astrologers for instant solution. Now here comes a question which is bigger. Karma or destiny? Our karma only creates our destiny. The astrologers predict as to what will happen in the future, in life, but the question is, can we change it? Listen to Bapuji's videos on the truth of astrology and about karma and destiny. There are many organizations which say world drama repeats in a similar way. For example, if a fly has passed across you in the last world cycle, the same will repeat in this cycle. Then what is the point of effort or purusharth? And what is the role of karma? For example, a handicapped person whose life is full of difficulties, and for him the ray of hope is his present karma by which he can improve his agami karma and utilize sanchat karma. Another example of dacoit, if he wants to change himself, then with this concept that the world drama will repeat in the same way, how will he and why should he put effort? Why will he believe in God? So such souls who preach this concept of world drama repeating exactly in the same way must ponder over this. One must understand that God has given the free will to do actions. Only I am responsible for the good and bad in life. When did Atma first come in this karmic cycle? When Lord Brahma created this creation in our Brahmand, that time the soul first came in the karmic cycle. We have told the three forms of soul, Nirakari, Akari and Sakari. When the soul changes from Nirakari, that is incorporeal, to Akari, which is subtle, which takes a lot of time, the mind develops first. Note, in the Nirakari form, Atma has no layers, no bondage of karma, no mind, intellect and sanskars. Nirakari form is the Adi Anadi Swarup of a soul and is in the seed stage of the soul. In this form, the soul has in the center light and outer layer is might, which will be discussed in detail in the coming chapters. When did Atma come in Akari form? When the Nirakari or the incorporeal soul creates a sankalp that we have to be multiplied to many, that's when the soul attains its Akari Roop or the subtle form. This is compared to sprout arising from a seed. At this point, the soul has got a subtle body and here the mind develops. The mind starts to think. As a result, the intellect is formed and the actions get imprinted as sanskars. This is how the previous actions get stored as sanskars or impressions. Behad Gyan also explains how the physical world came from subtle world and in turn from causal world. This explains how Param Purush made from Param Tattvas due to their sankalps created creation had a downfall in their soul power, as a result became Devi Devtas. Please note, sankalps or thoughts are Vayu or air element. So more the thoughts, heavier is the air element. Please note, Param Purush are greater than Devi Devtas. Now these Devi Devtas in Swarglok had desires and the soul power depleted, and these Devi Devtas have now become human beings. This is how the soul power diminished and we became human beings, which is the lowest stage of a soul, possessing Sakari form, that is the physical body. Bapuji says that we were Devi Devtas, and because the soul power declined, due to which we have acquired a physical body. Bapuji explains 33 crore Devi Devtas, whose mention is in our scriptures, have now become humans. Some are in the subtle world, rest are in the physical world. Now the karmas have been recorded since the start of the journey of the soul and Karan Sharir, which is the Akash Tattva, and emotions attached to these are recording in the Sukshma Sharir, which is the subtle body. But when a soul comes to the physical world, the sheath covering the soul is so much that it forgets the memories of its past life and its true self and its creator, and gets influenced by the effect of Maya. Added to this, the soul does not have knowledge. To listen to knowledge, one must need power, and to get the power, the soul must create a thought that I want to liberate myself. But if the soul does not have knowledge that he is trapped in this materialistic world, then why will he think of liberation? How to get liberated? In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna mentions, forget all the body and bodily relationships, become soul conscious and surrender unto me. I shall liberate you from all the sinful reactions. Do not fear. This does not mean to leave everything and go. It just means to surrender your mind, intellect to him only, not to think of your relatives. Now from where do you get the power to burn our karmas? The karma is recorded in the causal body. Let's first understand about the connection between medicines and blessings in a diseased person. What is the origin of a disease? It occurs first in the causal body, then in the subtle body, and later gets impacted in the physical body. When there are certain triggers in life which we can put a man in stress, depression, this will lead to negative emotions which affects the cells of the subtle and the causal body, and thereby affects the physical body. The medicines which we take can cure the physical body to some extent, but what about the cells affected in the causal body and the subtle body? For this, we need to connect to our Creator and take power from Him so as to charge the causal body or the Akash Tattva, where there is a record of karmas. Param Prakash or Param Light from Almighty Authority can only burn these records. If the soul is of higher category, then the body will transform to supracausal or supreme supracausal body, whose components we have discussed in Day 1 course. That time, the soul will experience Jivan Mukti. If we really want to get liberated from this cycle, then no sadhu, sant, dharma guru, mahatma can help us. It is only the connection with Almighty Authority that is when the Atma or the soul gets diluted. So without spiritual wisdom, no one can achieve mental peace. So we insist first to realize self and then realize Him. If we want this to be the last birth, then we have to put efforts in enhancing our knowledge and yoga. If someone is telling that your sadness will be removed or your karma entanglements can be dissolved without knowledge, then that's not true. They are fooling you. Let's talk about oneness to understand that we need to delve into quantum entanglement. Quantum entanglement is a bizarre phenomenon where two or more particles become deeply connected in such a way that their properties are intrinsically linked, regardless of the distance between them. When one particle's state is altered, the other particle instantly reacts, no matter how far apart they are. The special connection is called quantum entanglement. For example, a relation between a mother and a child. When these particles become entangled, whatever happens to one particle instantly affects the other, no matter the distance between them. It's like they have a magical link that allows them to communicate instantly. Now let's say that you have two entangled particles, particle A and particle B. If you change the properties of particle A, like its spin or its direction, particle B will automatically change its properties to match, even if they are light years away from each other. This happens even faster than the speed of light, which is pretty mind-blowing. Now, you might be wondering how this scientific concept relate to spirituality. Well, spiritual teachings from various traditions have long spoken about interconnectedness, oneness, and the idea that everything in the universe is interconnected. Quantum entanglement seems to echo these profound insights. Connection with Behad Gyan. One of the criteria for the two particles to be entangled is that they have to come from the same source. This explains the relation between creator and creation. So there must be some past connection between the two. It does not matter how far they are separated. So what qualities are there in the creator will be reflected in the creation. Sakshi Didi has spiritually decoded the quantum entanglement science through her mastery and expertise in Bhagavad Gita, stating that when a soul creation reaches to his creator, he feels united, he feels fulfilled, he reaches to oneness. Yes, that oneness is nothing but quantum entanglement. What we do in yoga is basically become soul conscious, disconnect from this physical world, and through thoughts, connect with the Creator in the highest dimension to experience oneness. It's just a small effort to make this infinite knowledge short. However, we recommend you to directly listen to the videos of Bapuji on this topic and refine your consciousness. Thank you for joining us today. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content. Until next time, may your actions be filled with wisdom and your journey towards enlightenment be blessed. Stay curious and keep exploring. Param Shanti.